What's good, people? It is Tony the Savant. And before we get started, please like this video, share this video, hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I'm dropping content and going live on the channel. As well, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel as I drop content daily, go live daily, stay busy on the platform. And last but not least, please leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment section, as I'm always intrigued to know what you all have to say about these topics. And ladies and gentlemen, um, big news in the NBA world. I typically try to stay away from the NBA stuff during the football season. I try to stay focused on what sport is in season right now. But this is just too big to pass by. The news anyway. As far as this, Karl Anthony Towns has been traded to the New York Knicks, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. After years of uh, flirting with the idea of Karl Anthony Towns being traded, the Minnesota Timberwolves have finally pulled the trigger on that trade. Now, if you've been rocking with me, I made a video some time ago when the Minnesota Timberwolves were eliminated by the Dallas Mavericks. We did a post-game video about that, and I recall saying that, I don't think that Karl Anthony Towns was going to return next season. I think that there was a number of highs, but many, 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 many more lows when it came to Karl Anthony Towns and his tenure with the Minnesota Timberwolves. And I say that respectfully. I don't think that Karl Anthony Towns is a complete bum or anything, but I do think he has many aspects in his game that weren't, uh, beneficial to the overall game plan of Karl Anthony Towns. And the emergence of Anthony Edwards, pretty much made him um, the word I'm trying to use. I was just thinking of a word. Word made it made him. I don't want to say like easy to cut off. Anyway, I'm trying to find the word for it. Um, it gave them an opportunity to trade Karl Anthony Towns and get some other pieces to build around Anthony Edwards. But I'm gonna read this article from the New York Post, as they just dropped this article discussing the details of the trade, because I just got the notification just now, and I said, all right, you got to pop out. We got to make a video real quick. But I want to read the article just to get all the inner details of the trade, because the Charlotte Hornets were also involved. This was a three-way trade. So it starts off as Karl Anthony Towns is finally a New York Knick after years of rumors. The four-time All-Star Towns is being traded from Minnesota to New York after a stunning blockbuster agreement, a source confirmed to the New York Post. The Knicks are dealing Julius Randle, Dante DiVincenzo, Daquan Jeffries, and a lottery-protected first-round pick from the Pistons, a source confirmed. And I just want to stop real quick, and I want to say that I feel like the Minnesota Timberwolves just won this trade, man. The New York Knicks, they got a little better as well. They got their starting center for sure. But all things considered, the Minnesota Timberwolves still have Rudy Gobert, the reigning Defensive Player of the Year, albeit controversial. They have Naj Reid, the reigning Sixth Man of the Year as well, who, in my opinion, outperformed Karl Anthony Towns in the postseason. By far, Naj Reid was single-handedly winning games, coming off the bench and winning games for the Minnesota Timberwolves. So they got him, and then they just added Julius Randle, who I feel like is a legitimate post presence player. Julius Randle has a lot of energy and a lot of what the big, as far as being a big in the league, he provides a presence in the post. And with him and Anthony Edwards, those kind of personalities, very brash, very competitive. I think they are going to do work together. Now, the only concern after that is Julius Randle's health, as that has been a stumbling block for him during his tenure with the Knicks. None more than last season, as the Knicks went on their whole, I believe, entire post run postseason run without him, and they saw that this team can flourish without the services of Julius Randle. But to continue the article, it says the Hornets are also involved in a trade, which is complicated by the Knicks and Timberwolves exceeding the luxury tax apron, which is what I was wondering. Like, how the Knicks gonna be able to pay this dude, man? But they made a way. They found it. They're gonna find a way. A high-ranking league source said this trade has been in the works for a while. The shocker comes as the Knicks desperately needed a starting center, having lost Isaiah Hartenstein in free agency and Mitchell Robinson until at least December, or probably longer, as he recovers from a high ankle injury. And I know that the New York Knicks. Did I read? I read something earlier about Karl Anthony Towns' former agent, Leon Rose, who I've heard of Leon Rose before, just not exactly where and how. But Leon Rose is the general manager for the New York Knicks, so and he's been so since 2020. So when they say that this trade has been in the works for a while, I can confirm that because I've heard so many people. As far as people that have some cachet in the game discuss this possible trade. A lot of people in the media, a lot of pundits that I trust and listen to have been saying this for quite some time, and it's because of the relationship between professional relationship between Leon Rose and Karl Anthony Towns. It was risky. It's a risky and expensive gamble on Towns, who is 28 years old, and is still owed $200 million over the next 4 years. A league source said the Knicks were attracted to Towns. Towns fit for several reasons. He slots into a core of players all under 30 years of age and tied into long-term contracts. Towns' offensive skills, which include elite three-point shooting for a big man, complement the defensive versatility of OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges. He's a strong defensive rebounder. He fills the center need with all-star capabilities. His acquisition presents a potential starting lineup of Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, Josh Hart, OG Anunoby, and Karl Anthony Towns, a formidable foursome to compete with the Celtics for a title. Still, Towns doesn't arrive without big concerns. He's been frequently injured the past 5 seasons, criticized for being soft, and took 8 years to get past the first round of the playoffs. This is all facts. These are all facts, and I think we kind of covered that at the top of this video. It continues. Towns played 2.5 seasons under current Knicks head coach Tom Thibodeau in Minnesota. That's a fact. I forgot about that. The coach and the player have butted heads, but Towns told the New York Post last season they squashed their beef in a conversation years ago. I got no problems with Tibbs. We've been squashed that, said Towns. I still look at Tibbs as one of the best X's and O's coaches I've been able to play for. He breathes winning, and I got nothing but respect. Towns continued. Tom Thibodeau reciprocated the respect, as he said last season as well, watching the progress he's made throughout his career. He feels that Karl Anthony Towns is as gifted as they come. When you look at an offensive player, particularly a big with the skill set that he has, I think we all saw to win a 3-point contest and stuff like that. There's nothing he can't do offensively. He has continued to get better. I think he has some injuries to deal with. I watched him play in the FIBA, blah, blah, blah. He played really, really well. All right. Tibbs just giving the old PC answers. And the article continues, man, from there. Y'all can go read it. Again, it's the New York Post discussing this trade between the two. But that's the gist of it. As you heard as well, Julius Randle, Dante DiVincenzo, and a couple other people will be joining the Minnesota Timberwolves, a team that exceeded expectations last season, sweeping. No, they didn't sweep. They won 7 games with the defending NBA champions with their young core. So, and not to take away from Karl Anthony Towns, he contributed to that as well. But really, Naj Reid in my opinion, made a far bigger, far greater contribution to the Minnesota Timberwolves advancing past the Denver Nuggets. But all in all, man, you know, does this make the New York Knicks a true contender? I mean, I don't want to say no. I'm going to say it like this, though. To contend with the Boston Celtics, just bringing them into it, I felt more confident in the Boston Celtics getting Drew Holiday last year, 2 years ago, I guess you can, if we consider last year's, obviously, yeah. So last year, I considered Drew Holiday when when the Boston Celtics acquired him. I feel like that was more. I was more confident in that move than I am this move. So, but considering what the New York Knicks needed, yes, for sure, you needed a Karl Anthony Towns. But how will Karl Anthony play is the next question. Because he's had a high rate of inconsistency in his career. And again, it took him 8 years. We're going into year 9. It took him 8 years to get out of the first round of the playoffs. So that is a lot of red flags. Let's just call it what it is. A lot of red flags surrounding Karl Anthony Towns. But we'll see how this all plays out, not just for him, the Minnesota Timberwolves as well. Like I said, I feel like they, off the top of my head, won this trade, acquiring the services of a guy like DiVincenzo, who played very big basketball for the New York Knicks last season, hitting perhaps the biggest one of the biggest shots in their franchise history in that game 2 last year. I forget who it was against, but yeah, DiVincenzo has been definitely big for the New York Knicks. So we'll see what happens. We'll also see if Karl Anthony Towns and Tom Thibodeau, their reunion, we'll see if they can if they can attain more success this time around. And I'm excited. I'm all here for it. The NBA season has started off with a bit of excitement, to be frank. So that's all I got for y'all on this one. Please like the video, share the video, hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I'm dropping content and going live on the channel. As well, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel as I drop content daily, go live daily, stay very busy on the platform. And last but not least, please leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment section, as I'm always interested to know what y'all got to say about these topics. I am Tony the Savant. Peace.